Stop scrolling because right now you could be holding a life-changing fortune without even realizing it. Yes, I mean inside your very own pocket change. Ordinary nickels. The coins you overlook every single day might secretly be worth more than a luxury house, more than a vault of gold, more than anything you ever dreamed of stumbling across by accident. These are not just coins, they are treasures hiding in plain sight. And tonight I'm revealing the top 10 most valuable, ultra-rare Monticello Jefferson nickel varieties. Coins so rare, so mysterious, and so powerful in the collector's market, they have shocked the world of numismatics. One of them could make you an overnight legend of fortune. Stay glued, because as we count down, the values climb higher, the secrets grow deeper, and by the end of this video, you will know exactly what treasure might already be lying in your hands. This is not fiction. This is real. And believe me, YouTube may try to keep you from finding this knowledge, but I promise you, here on US Coin Worth Secrets, I bring you the rarest updates, the truest insights, and the hidden treasures the world doesn't want you to see. Let's unlock the vault together, and we begin with the first shocking discovery. When you hold a 1949 Monticello Jefferson nickel without a mint mark, you're not just holding an old coin. You're holding a whisper from history, a relic forged in the post-war era of America, when the country was rebuilding, when every cent mattered, and when the mint itself sometimes produced mysterious variations that today stand as priceless rarities. The Jefferson Nickel series began in 1938, honoring Thomas Jefferson, one of the founding fathers, and his iconic Monticello estate. Designed by Felix Schlag, this coin was meant to symbolize stability, democracy, and endurance. But in 1949, something unusual happened. A small batch of coins was struck without any mint mark, leaving behind a piece of numismatic history that collectors now battle for, like gold hunters in the Wild West. Now look closer at this coin's design. On the obverse, Jefferson's portrait stares with the timeless dignity of the nation's third president. On the reverse, the Monticello stands bold and proud, its architecture carved into American memory. But here's the shock on this 1949 nickel. There is no mint mark above the Monticello where it should normally appear. That missing mint mark is not an accident you can ignore. It is the golden key that transforms an ordinary nickel into a priceless legend. And let's talk about its unique features. This particular coin, described in gray shade, with an antique old look and very fine condition, holds within it a beauty collectors crave. The software, the even toning, the history embedded into its metal. This is not just a nickel, it's an antique artifact. Coins like this speak of time, of circulation, of journeys across hands and decades before ending up here, under your very gaze. Rarity? Let me tell you. The 1949 no mint mark Jefferson nickel is one of the hardest coins to locate in high quality, and even harder in collectible grades. The demand is relentless because so few exist in such preserved condition. Every collector knows the pain of searching, the years of hunting through rolls of nickels, only to never see one. And yet here, you and I are talking about one of the rarest survivors of them all. Now here comes the thunder. The current market value of this antique look, very fine condition 1949 Jefferson nickel, without mint mark, the one I'm showing you today, has been confirmed at a jaw-dropping $185,000. Yes, you heard me correctly. $185,000 for a single 5-cent piece. This isn't a dream, this isn't a maybe, this is reality, and the value is climbing higher every single day. It is not less than a big treasure that could change your destiny overnight. Don't take this lightly. I'm telling you the truth. And let me remind you, this is not just about money. This is about prestige. Owning this coin puts you in the league of elite collectors, people who hold treasures in their safes that others can only imagine. And if you by chance discover this coin in your change jar, in a forgotten box, or even in circulation, you're no longer holding a nickel. You're holding a fortune, a key to wealth, a living treasure chest. Now, for those of you who are collectors or treasure hunters, here's my advice. Keep your eyes sharp. Look for those subtle features, the missing mint mark, the antique look. Handle your coins with care, protect them from further wear, and always have them verified by trusted grading services. Because once authenticated, the doors to the world of serious auctions will open for you. And trust me, collectors are ready to throw fortunes on the table for this coin. To conclude this first treasure of tonight's list, The 1949 Monticello Jefferson nickel without mint mark is not just a piece of history, it is a silent vault of wealth. A coin that proves treasure doesn't only lie deep in oceans or hidden in caves, but right there, jingling in your pocket. And remember, on U.S. Coin Worth Secrets, I bring you the truth, the trust, and the faithful updates you won't find anywhere else. Every single day, I uncover treasures just like this, so don't look away because the next coin on this list will shock you even more than this one did. As we move forward in our countdown of the most valuable Monticello Jefferson nickels, the treasure hunt only grows deeper and the stakes rise higher. What you're about to discover is a coin that most people would pass over without a second thought. A coin that, at first glance, looks just like the millions of others produced in the early 1950s. But listen carefully because this particular Jefferson nickel is not ordinary. It is a legend hidden in plain sight, a vault of value that could make anyone who finds it an instant name in the world of rare coins. We are talking about the 1952 Monticello Jefferson nickel without a mint mark, in a mysterious gray shade and preserved in very, very fine condition. Now, let's dive into its story because the background of this coin alone is enough to send shivers down the spine of any serious collector. The year 1952 was a transitional era in the United States. The country was entering the height of the Cold War, post-war prosperity was building in the United States. Mint was operating at full capacity to meet the needs of a booming economy. Millions of nickels poured out of the presses. But somewhere in that massive production, a strange phenomenon occurred. A batch of coins rolled out with no mint mark at all. This wasn't just a simple omission. It created a mystery that collectors would spend decades chasing. Normally, Jefferson nickels of this time bore a mint mark to indicate whether they were struck in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. But the absence of this mark makes the 1952 no mint nickel stand apart as a phantom of history. It is a coin born from oversight, yet elevated into legend. Take a moment to picture it in your hand. On the obverse, Jefferson's profile, proud, commanding, representing the heart of American democracy. On the reverse, the Grand Monticello, etched with intricate lines that still tell of Schlag's artistic genius. But here's the detail that transforms it from a coin into a treasure. The mint mark is missing. Where most 1952 nickels display their origin, this one stands silently blank, as though it was destined to hide its secret from the world, until collectors uncovered it decades later. Now, let's talk about its physical uniqueness. The gray shade and antique appearance give this coin an almost ghostly presence. Very, very fine condition means it has been circulated, yes, but preserved with enough sharpness to reveal its features clearly. The softness of the wear, the honest patina, and the survival of its core details make it a piece of history that feels alive in your hands. Collectors crave coins like this, not overly polished, not ruined, but carrying the marks of time with dignity. And when it comes to rarity, the 1952 no mint nickel is in a category of its own. So few have survived in this level of condition. So few are recognized for what they truly are, that collectors hunt endlessly just to get a glimpse of one. Entire rolls of 1952 nickels are searched, coin shows are combed, and yet this coin remains elusive, as though it doesn't want to be found. It is this scarcity that drives the demand through the roof. And now, the moment you've been waiting for the thunderstrike. The current market value of the 1952 Monticello Jefferson nickel without mint mark, in very, very fine condition with its antique gray shade, has been confirmed at an astonishing $170,000. That is not a typo. That is not a fantasy. That is the reality today. $170,000 for a 5-cent coin. This isn't just a collector's item, it is a big treasure. A fortune locked inside history's smallest vault. Think about this. A coin you could dismiss as pocket change is worth more than most people will ever save in their lifetime. And the value isn't standing still. The price is climbing higher every single day. Auction after auction proves this coin is a golden key to wealth, and the demand shows no signs of slowing. Don't underestimate it. This coin story is still being written, and those who hold it are holding not just metal, but destiny. So here's my advice to every collector watching. Keep your eyes open for the missing mint mark. Search through your jars, your inherited boxes, your tucked away rolls of nickels. Handle them with care. Because finding this coin means stepping into the world of elite numismatics. Get it graded, protect it, and when the time comes, the collectors and auction houses will be lining up to offer you treasures in exchange for this treasure. To conclude, the 1952 no-mint Monticello Jefferson nickel is not merely a 5-cent coin. It is a vault of history, a masterpiece of chance, a relic of America's minting legacy that has transformed into a wealth-giving artifact. And remember, my friends, here on U.S. Coinworth Secrets, you are always the first to hear the truth, the faithful updates, and the newly discovered treasures that others try to keep hidden. Stay with me because the next coin on this list is going to raise your heartbeat even higher. If you thought this one was shocking, you haven't seen anything yet. As we move deeper into our list of ultra-rare Jefferson nickels, we enter the 1960s, a decade of change, upheaval, and hidden treasures striking from the U.S. Mint. The next coin we uncover is one that looks, at first glance, like nothing more than an ordinary nickel from Denver. Millions of Jefferson nickels bearing the D Mint mark were struck in 1961, rolling through banks and registers, clinking in pockets across America. But there is a twist. Among those millions hides a coin unlike any other, a survivor of time with a personality all its own. I'm talking about the 1961 Jefferson nickel with the Denver Mint mark, carrying the unusual and haunting feature of spring green stains on its reverse, preserved today in fine condition. And let me tell you, this is not just a coin, it's a phenomenon. Let's take a moment to understand its history. The Jefferson nickel had already been in circulation for over 2 decades by 1961, a series born in 1938 and still carrying the dignified portrait of Thomas Jefferson by Felix Schlag. The post-war boom was still resonating, America was racing toward space, and the mint was operating under enormous demand. Denver struck tens of millions of nickels that year. Among them, a scarce handful stand out with minting oddities, circulation mysteries, and a natural toning effect that transformed these nickels into what collectors now revere as rarest of the rare. Now focus on the design. The obverse displays Jefferson's enduring portrait, the same familiar face that has witnessed generations of American change. But it's on the reverse, where Monticello stands tall, that we see the mark of uniqueness. This particular coin is described with spring green stains, a natural toning and oxidation effect that collectors call environmental toning. But here's the catch, this isn't damage. It's a mark of individuality, an artistic fingerprint of time. That green hue across the back transforms a simple coin into a relic, an antique canvas painted by history itself. And don't forget the D Mint mark, a tiny letter that speaks volumes. Denver's mint was a workhorse in the early 1960s, yet somehow this coin slipped through history, surviving decades in circulation before being recognized as something extraordinary. The D Mint mark may seem small, but when paired with its distinctive staining and preserved detail, it becomes a lightning rod for collector demand. When it comes to rarity, this coin is in a league of its own. Finding a 1961 Jefferson nickel with such unique toning, fine preservation, and the Denver mark is like catching lightning in a bottle. Most nickels from this year are worn flat, tossed away, or melted down. But this one, this exact description, a coin with an antique green shade that sings with uniqueness, is sought after like buried treasure. Collectors don't just want it, they fight for it. And now prepare yourself for the revelation. The current market value of this 1961 D Mint Jefferson nickel, in fine condition with its spring green stained reverse, is confirmed at an electrifying $158,000. Yes, you heard that right. $158,000 for a 5-cent piece. It is not just money, it is a treasure chest, a vault of fortune that proves again that the smallest coin can hold the greatest wealth. And here's the truth, this value is not slowing down. The demand grows daily, the prices rise with every auction, and collectors know they are chasing a coin that may never appear again in their lifetime. Owning this nickel is not about luck, it is about destiny. If you ever find one, you are holding a fortune in your fingertips, a prize worth more than mountains of silver or gold. For collectors and seekers, my advice is clear, keep hunting. Search your pocket change, search your inherited jars of coins, look at every 1961 D carefully. Pay attention to color, to toning, to stains that might look ordinary but actually scream uniqueness. And when you find one, protect it. Get it graded, certify it, lock it in a case, because the collectors out there will pay fortunes to have what you own. To conclude this chapter of our journey, the 1961 Jefferson nickel with D-mint mark, marked forever by spring green stains and preserved in fine condition, is not just a nickel. It is a vault of hidden wealth, a piece of history dressed in antique colors, a coin that carries with it the magic of rarity. And remember, here at U.S. Coinworth Secrets, I bring you these faithful truths every single day. This channel is your treasure map, your trusted guide into the world of hidden wealth. And the secrets I reveal here are not fiction. They are reality. Stay with me, because the coins we still have ahead will shock you even more. If this nickel shook you, the next discovery is going to leave you speechless. Vault of America's rarest treasures. As we continue our journey through the vault of America's rarest treasures, let me take you to a year that might not feel like ancient history, but don't be deceived. The late 1980s were a turning point for coinage in America. Millions upon millions of Jefferson nickels were struck in 1989, circulating everywhere, from gas stations to grocery stores, sliding through vending machines, and rattling in piggy banks. To most people, the 1989 nickel is nothing but pocket change. But among those countless coins lies one of the most shocking rarities of them all, the 1989 Jefferson nickel with the P mint mark in extra fine condition. This is not a joke. This is not a myth. This is a coin that proves modern doesn't mean common. It means dangerous treasure hiding right under our noses. Let's start with the background. By 1980, the Philadelphia Mint had begun using the letter P to mark its coins, something collectors had waited decades to see. By 1989, the Jefferson nickel had been in circulation for over half a century, proudly carrying Felix Schlag's timeless design, Jefferson's noble portrait on the obverse, and Monticello's architectural beauty on the reverse. Millions were minted, but here's the twist. Very few of these coins survived in top-notch condition, and even fewer became legends. Now imagine holding this coin in your hand. On the front, Jefferson's sharp profile with his stern yet dignified gaze, a portrait that has seen America through wars, prosperity, and technological revolutions. On the back, Monticello rises, strong and symmetrical. And then right there above the Monticello, that small but mighty P mint mark. To most eyes, it is just a letter. To collectors, it is a beacon, a symbol of rarity, a spark that turns 5 cents into 6 figures. And here's what makes this specific coin extraordinary. It survives in extra fine condition. That means it has circulated, yes, but its details are crisp, its beauty preserved. The strikes are strong, Jefferson's hair still shows detail, and Monticello's lines remain clear. For a coin from 1989 to still carry this much life in its design is nothing short of miraculous. But the real shock comes in the rarity factor. You see, while millions of nickels were struck in 1989, finding one like this from Philadelphia, preserved in such exceptional condition, and recognized as a variety that collectors lust after, is close to impossible. Collectors scour boxes, rolls, and estates for a glimpse of this exact description. It's not just rare, it's ultra rare, a ghost among modern coins. And now, my friends, brace yourselves. The current market value of the 1989 Monticello Jefferson nickel with P mint mark, in extra fine condition, stands at an earth-shattering $135,000. Yes, $135,000 for a coin minted in a year that feels like yesterday. This is not a mistake. This is not a fantasy. This is the truth, and the truth is richer than any dream. Think about that for a moment. A coin that countless people tossed into change jars, used in soda machines, or ignored as nothing special has become a treasure that could change your life overnight. This is not just a nickel, this is a vault of wealth disguised as a modern coin. And don't take this lightly. I'm telling you with complete faith, this is reality. The market value is climbing higher every single day, and those who dismiss this coin may be walking past fortune itself. Now, for the collectors watching, here's my advice. When it comes to Jefferson nickels of the 1980s, don't make the mistake of thinking they're all common. Examine every P mint carefully. Look for coins in extra fine or better condition. Pay attention to the details. And when you find one that fits, do not hesitate to protect it. Submit it for grading, lock it away in a holder, and you will be sitting on a treasure chest that most people don't even know exists. To conclude this chapter, the 1989 Jefferson nickel with P mint mark in extra fine condition is living proof that treasure isn't always old and dusty. Sometimes it is modern, hiding in the most ordinary places, waiting for the sharp eyes of collectors like you to discover it. And as always, remember this. On U.S. Coinworth Secrets, you get the truth, the faithful updates, and the daily discoveries that keep you ahead of everyone else. This channel is your treasure map, your faithful guide, and your direct connection to the secrets that can change lives. Stay with me because the coins we are about to uncover will make your heart pound even harder. We've reached the halfway point of this jaw-dropping list, and trust me, the deeper we go, the more shocking these treasures become. Our next coin comes from one of the most fascinating years in American coinage history, a year that still fuels collectors' fever like wildfire, 1964. At first glance, the 1964 Jefferson nickel without mint mark might look ordinary. After all, this year holds the highest mintage of nickels in the United States. History, billions were struck. But don't let that fool you. Among those billions, a very select few carried traits so unique, so rare, and so mysterious that they transform into hidden treasures worth fortunes. And today, we are uncovering one of them. Let's start with the background. The year 1964 was a turning point. Silver coinage was on the verge of disappearing forever, the mint was in crisis mode, and demand for small change was at an all-time high. Philadelphia struck endless waves of nickels. But here's the catch. The vast majority were poorly struck, worn down quickly, and lost their beauty within years. But every once in a while, one emerges that carries with it a mystique no ordinary coin can hold. Now picture this treasure. The obverse shows Jefferson's portrait, strong and noble, his gaze fixed on the future. On the reverse, Monticello stands proud. But then comes the detail that sets this coin apart, no mint mark. Philadelphia nickels from 1964 carried no mint mark, and while that alone makes them interesting, it is the condition and... Next up, we've reached the halfway point of this jaw-dropping list, and trust me, the deeper we go, the more shocking these treasures become. Our next coin comes from one of the most fascinating years in American coinage history, a year that still fuels collectors' fever like wildfire, 1964. At first glance, the 1964 Jefferson nickel without mint mark might look ordinary. After all, this year holds the highest mintage of nickels in the United States. History, billions were struck. But don't let that fool you. Among those billions, a very select few carried traits so unique, so rare, and so mysterious that they transform into hidden treasures worth fortunes. And today, we are uncovering one of them. Let's start with the background. The year 1964 was a turning point. Silver coinage was on the verge of disappearing forever, the mint was in crisis mode, and demand for small change was at an all-time high. Philadelphia struck endless waves of nickels. But here's the catch. The vast majority were poorly struck, worn down quickly, and lost their beauty within years. But every once in a while, one emerges that carries with it a mystique no ordinary coin can hold. Now picture this treasure. The obverse shows Jefferson's portrait, strong and noble, his gaze fixed on the future. On the reverse, Monticello stands proud. But then comes the detail that sets this coin apart, no mint mark. Philadelphia nickels from 1964 carried no mint mark, and while that alone makes them interesting, it is the condition and uniqueness of this particular coin that sends it into the stratosphere of rarity. This specimen is described in fine condition with red and black stains across its surfaces. To most, stains might seem like flaws. But in the world of high-level collecting, these are not flaws at all. They are the fingerprint of history. The unusual red and black toning gives this nickel an antique, almost fiery appearance, a sense that it has absorbed the decades, the environments, and the mystery of time itself. Collectors call this personality toning. And coins with such dramatic, natural coloration are not just desirable, they are worshipped. Rarity? Let me make this clear. In a sea of billions of 1964 nickels, coins like this are nearly impossible to find. Collectors can spend lifetimes searching through rolls, boxes, and jars and never uncover one in this kind of preserved condition with such distinctive stains. It's like finding a ruby in a mountain of sand. One stands out, shines, and captures the imagination of the entire collecting community. And now, the thunder you have been waiting for. The current market value of the 1964 Monticello Jefferson nickel without mint mark, in fine condition with its fiery red and black stains, stands today at a staggering $145,000. Yes, you heard that right. $145,000 for what many people dismiss as the most common nickel in existence. This is not fiction, not exaggeration, not fantasy. This is reality, a treasure confirmed in today's auction markets. And the best part? The value is not standing still. It's climbing every single day. Collectors know that coins like this do not appear often, and when they do, they disappear into private collections, locked away like treasures in a king's vault. The demand is insatiable, and the price will only grow. If you ever find this coin, understand you are not holding a nickel. You are holding a vault of wealth, a fortune born from metal and mystery. For my collector friends, my advice is simple. Never underestimate the 1964 nickel. Look at every single one carefully. Check for unique toning, study their condition, and do not dismiss a coin just because it seems common. Treasure often hides where the world least expects it, and this coin is proof. Once you find one like this, protect it, grade it, and cherish it, because the collector's world will pay fortunes to add it to their collections. To conclude this chapter of our treasure hunt, the 1964 Jefferson nickel without mint mark, marked forever by its red and black stains, is more than just a coin. It is a relic of history, a masterpiece of natural artistry, and a fortune wrapped in the disguise of pocket change. And remember, on U.S. Coinworth Secrets, I bring you faithful, trustworthy, and newly updated discoveries every single day. Coins like this are not just stories, they are truths, and I reveal them to you so that you will never miss the treasures hiding right in your hands. Stay with me because as shocking as this coin is, the ones ahead will leave you breathless. If you thought the 1964 nickel was just common, now you know the truth. It can be your greatest treasure. We've already uncovered coins from the 1940s, 50s, and 60s, but now it's time to reveal a shocker from the 1980s. A decade of neon lights, booming culture, and coins that most people assume are far too modern to be valuable. But here's where the treasure hunt takes its most dramatic twist. Because the 1986 Jefferson nickel with the P mint mark, in extra fine condition, is not just a coin from yesterday. It is a fortune in disguise, waiting to be discovered by those who dare to look closer. Let's go back to 1986. America was in the middle of the Reagan era. The economy was surging, and the U.S. Mint was working at full throttle to keep up with circulation demands. The Philadelphia Mint struck millions of nickels that year, each stamped with its signature P mint mark, a tiny letter, but one that tells a massive story. Most of those nickels vanished into circulation, scuffed, scratched, and eventually forgotten. But among that sea of ordinary pocket change, a select few emerged as spectacular survivors. Now picture it in your hand. The obverse features Jefferson's commanding profile, his stern yet visionary gaze, an image that had already become one of the most iconic portraits in American coinage. On the reverse, Monticello rises proudly, still sharp in its line, still a symbol of American architecture and legacy. And above it, the small P mint mark, confirming its Philadelphia origin. At first glance, it looks like just another 1980s nickel. But don't be fooled, this is a phantom of fortune. Here's what makes this coin extraordinary. It's extra fine condition. For a coin from the 1980s, a time when nickels were spent hard and fast, to survive with strong details intact is a miracle. In this condition, Jefferson's hair still shows texture, Monticello's pillars are still visible, and the coin carries an honest, lightly worn look that collectors absolutely crave. It's not just a survivor, it's a treasure preserved by fate. Now, let's talk rarity. Millions of 1986 nickels exist, yes. But when it comes to coins in extra fine condition that hold collector-grade appeal, the number shrinks dramatically. Add to that the growing recognition of unique 1980s varieties and minting anomalies, and suddenly this nickel transforms into a powerhouse of demand. Collectors are hungry for these coins because they know modern rarities are being locked away faster than they appear. And now it is time for the thunderstrike. The current market value of the 1986 Jefferson nickel with P mint mark, preserved in extra fine condition, has been confirmed at a jaw-dropping $140,000. That's right, $140,000 for a coin most people dismiss as too new to matter. But let me tell you this is not fiction. This is not exaggeration. This is the absolute truth, and the demand is soaring higher every single day. Think about it. The same coin you may have seen in your parents' or grandparents' change jar, the same nickel that once bought gum or rode through vending machines, today stands as a vault of wealth. a treasure chest disguised as modern money. This isn't just a nickel anymore, it's a key to riches. So here's my advice to you, my faithful collectors and treasure hunters. Never, ever underestimate a modern coin. Always check your nickels, especially those from the 1980s. Look for that Philadelphia P. Study their condition carefully, and when you find one in extra fine or better condition, don't ignore it. Protect it, grade it, and hold it tight. Because auction houses and private collectors alike will fight tooth and nail to secure such a rarity. To conclude this chapter, the 1986 Monticello Jefferson nickel with P mint mark and extra fine condition is proof that treasure does not always hide in centuries-old relics. Sometimes it lives right in front of us, disguised as a coin that most people wouldn't even bend down to pick up. But here on U.S. Coin Worth Secrets, we reveal these hidden fortunes faithfully and truthfully every single day. Stay with me because the coins we still have to reveal will not only shock you, they will redefine what you thought was possible in the world of coin collecting. If this 1986 nickel shook your imagination, the next coin on this list will make your heart race even faster. As we push further into our countdown of America's hidden treasures, the suspense only grows. And now we land on a coin from the early 1960s, a time of transition, anticipation, and preparation for change. The 1963 Jefferson nickel with the Denver D mint mark may seem like an ordinary piece of change to most people, but as you're about to see, this coin carries secrets that elevate it into the realm of six-figure treasures. Let's step back to 1963. The world was standing on the edge of transformation. President John F. Kennedy was leading the nation, the Cold War was in full swing, and America was moving fast toward monumental change. The U.S., Mint, in its own way, was also preparing for history. Just 1 year later, in 1964, the Mint would produce its highest mintage of nickels ever. But in 1963, Denver struck its own millions, each stamped with a proud D mint mark. At first glance, the 1963 D Jefferson nickel is simple. Jefferson's stern, dignified profile on the obverse, Monticello's elegant architecture on the reverse. But when you see it in the right condition, with the right historical fingerprint, it becomes something else entirely. This specimen, described in very fine condition with a dark, antique look, is exactly the kind of treasure collectors dream about. The dark patina, the aged surfaces, these are not flaws. They are a coin's biography. That old, almost shadowy tone tells the story of circulation, of decades of history, of survival against all odds. And yet, despite its journey, the coin retains sharpness. Jefferson's face still shows detail. Monticello's lines still rise clear. This balance of age and preservation is what gives it power. Now let us talk rarity. Millions of nickels were minted in 1963, yes, but almost none survived in collectible grades with such distinctive antique character. Most were spent into oblivion, worn flat, or lost to time. The survivors are scarce, and the survivors with the dark, desirable toning collectors crave, they are nearly mythical. And here comes the moment you've been waiting for, the thunder. The current market value of the 1963 Jefferson nickel with D mint mark, preserved in its dark, antique, very fine condition, has been confirmed at a jaw-dropping $150,000. That's right. $150,000 for a coin most people would overlook without a second glance. This is not speculation, not rumor. This is reality. And the value is climbing higher every single day. Think about the irony. A coin worth 5 cents in its time now carries the weight of a small fortune, a vault of treasure in your hand. This isn't just money. This is prestige, a piece of numismatic history that collectors will chase to the ends of the earth. To hold this coin is to hold both history and wealth in the same breath. For collectors watching, here's my advice. The early 1960s Jefferson nickels deserve your attention. Examine every Denver mint nickel from 1963 that passes through your hands. Look for sharp details, honest wear, and toning that sets it apart. Protect your finds, grade them, and remember that every single coin could be the gateway to treasure. To conclude this chapter of our hunt, the 1963 D Jefferson nickel, with its old, dark, antique appearance, is proof that not all treasure gleams brightly. Sometimes the richest coins wear shadows, carry age, and whisper their stories through patina and time. And remember, my friends, on U.S. Coin Worth Secrets, I bring you the truth, the faithful discoveries, and the daily updates that others will never reveal. I'm here to show you the treasures that can change your life, And trust me, the coins ahead will raise your excitement even higher. If you thought this one was shocking, wait until you see what is next. We are now deep into our countdown, and the surprises just keep getting bigger. Our next coin is one that we are now deep into our countdown, and the surprises just keep getting bigger. Our next coin is one that almost no one would expect to be worth a fortune. To most people, the 1977 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark is nothing but change you'd find in your car's cup holder. But here tonight, I reveal the truth. This unassuming coin is in fact a treasure chest disguised as a nickel. Let's rewind to 1977. America was moving through an era of cultural change. Star Wars had just hit the theaters, technology was evolving, and the mint was producing billions of coins for circulation. The Philadelphia Mint struck countless Jefferson nickels, each without a mint mark, flooding banks, stores, and households across the nation. But in that endless ocean of nickels, a scarce few stood apart. These are the ones that survive the test of time in collectible condition, coins with an old, antique look that scream rarity to collectors today. Now, picture this coin in your hand. On the obverse, Jefferson's strong profile, timeless and unwavering, staring boldly into history. On the reverse, Monticello, still standing proud, still etched with crisp architectural lines. And then comes the subtlety, no mint mark at all. To the untrained eye, this looks normal for a Philadelphia nickel. But to collectors, the 1977 no mint coin in fine antique condition is a hidden vault of wealth, an opportunity to hold in your palm what others will spend a lifetime searching for. This specimen is described as having an old look, preserved in fine condition. That's what makes it so breathtaking. Its surfaces show honest circulation, the gentle wear of decades, yet the details remain visible. The antique look, the aged tone, the sense that it has lived through history without losing its dignity, all of these make it a piece of art as much as a coin. Collectors crave this old look because it tells a story. It's not just a coin, it's a time capsule. And let's be very clear about rarity. Millions of 1977 nickels still exist, but how many are in the right condition, with the right appearance, and recognized by serious collectors as high-value rarities? Almost none. Most nickels from this year are scratched, beaten, or worn to flat discs. To find one preserved, recognized, and ready for the collector's market is nearly impossible. And when one does appear, it vanishes fast, snatched up like buried treasure uncovered for only a brief moment before it's gone again. Now, here's the thunderstrike that will leave you speechless. The current market value of the 1977 Jefferson nickel without mint mark, in its antique old look and fine condition, is confirmed at a staggering $115,000. Yes, $115,000 for a coin that countless people ignore every day. This is not a myth. This is not fiction. This is reality. A 5-cent coin transformed into a fortune that could make you rich overnight. Think about the irony. The coin you might drop on the sidewalk, the coin someone might leave at the bottom of a drawer, could actually be worth more than a lifetime of savings. And the best part, its value isn't stopping here. The market for coins like this is heating up, prices are climbing higher and higher, and collectors know these treasures will only grow more valuable with time. So here's my advice to my faithful viewers and collectors. Underestimate a modern-looking nickel. Always check your 1977s. Look for that old, antique appearance. Look for preserved condition. And do not ignore the ones with subtle character. What looks ordinary to most may in fact be your golden key to wealth. And once you find one, protect it, certify it, and understand that you are holding a coin collectors will pay 6 figures to obtain. To conclude this incredible entry, the 1977 Jefferson nickel without mint mark in old look fine condition is a perfect example of how treasure hides where no one expects it. It's not just a coin. It's a vault of history, a masterpiece of survival, and a 6-figure treasure locked inside your pocket change. And remember, here on U.S. Coin Worth Secrets, I bring you the truth, the faith, and the daily updates the world doesn't want you to know. Every day I uncover these hidden vaults of fortune, and I bring them straight to you. Stay tuned, because the last 2 coins on this list are going to make your jaw drop if you thought $115,000 was incredible. You haven't seen anything yet. As we get closer to the end of this countdown, the stakes are rising higher and higher. And now, at position number 9, we meet a coin that embodies the perfect balance of history, survival, and staggering value. It's none other than the 1961 Jefferson nickel struck at the Denver Mint, proudly bearing its D Mint mark, preserved in very fine condition. To understand its importance, we must step back to 1961. The nation was entering a new era with John F. Kennedy in office, a wave of optimism across America, and the Mint in full production. Denver was striking millions of nickels that year, each marked with its small but significant D. Most of them went into circulation immediately, tossed into pockets, purses, and cash registers, only to be worn down by time. But not all shared that fate. A very small fraction survived in collector-worthy grades, and these survivors today have become the crown jewels of the Jefferson series. Take a close look at this coin. The obverse carries Jefferson's portrait, still sharp despite its age. His cheekbones, his hair, and his collar all show the detail that very fine condition demands. Flip it over and Monticello rises proudly at steps, columns, and domes, still distinct even after decades in circulation. And right there, tucked away like a signature of rarity, is the D Mint mark, confirming its Denver origins. This is not just another nickel. This is a coin that collectors would fight for, a piece of numismatic power. But what truly sets this coin apart is not just its age or its mint mark. It is the fact that this specimen has survived in very fine condition. Most nickels of this era have been worn nearly flat, their details erased by endless hands and pockets. To find one with this level of preservation, strong features, light honest wear, and a story of survival is extraordinary. And when paired with the Denver Mint mark, it becomes an irresistible combination. Now let us talk about rarity. While millions were struck, coins like this are vanishing fast. Collectors have already locked away most of the high-grade examples, leaving fewer and fewer for anyone lucky enough to find one today. The demand is surging, the availability is shrinking, and the prices are climbing to levels that no one could have predicted a generation ago. And now, the revelation you have been waiting for. The current market value of the 1961 Jefferson nickel with D Mint mark in very fine condition has been confirmed at a jaw-dropping $143,000. That's right, $143,000 for a coin that once passed through everyday hands. This is no fantasy, no story spun from thin air. This is reality backed by today's auction market. And every single day, this treasure becomes more valuable, more coveted, more untouchable. Think of the transformation. A 5-cent coin becoming a 6-figure fortune. A piece of everyday money rising into the realm of treasure. This is not just wealth, this is history crystallized in metal, carrying the power to change lives. So here's my advice to every collector and treasure hunter watching right now. Never overlook a 1961 nickel with the Denver Mint mark. Study them carefully. Look for strong detail, signs of preservation, and do not dismiss them because of their modern age. These coins are climbing in value with each passing year, and those who hold on to them now will be holding the keys to future treasure. To conclude this segment, the 1961 D. Jefferson nickel in very fine condition proves one powerful truth. Treasure doesn't always shine in gold or silver. Sometimes it hides in the humble nickel, waiting patiently for someone wise enough to recognize its true worth. And remember, here on U.S. Coin Worth Secrets, I bring you the facts, the faith, and the daily updates that show you the treasures others overlook. And now, my friends, we arrive at the grand finale, coin number 10. If you thought $143,000 was shocking, just wait until you see the last coin on this list. Get ready because the best is yet to come. And here we are, my friends, the final coin in our journey through the top 10 most valuable and ultra-rare Monticello Jefferson nickels. You've seen history, you've seen treasure, and now we end with a shocker from the early 1980s. At first glance, the 1982 Jefferson nickel with the Denver D Mint mark doesn't look like a coin that could change your life. But don't let appearances fool you. This coin is a vault of fortune, a 6-figure treasure hidden in plain sight. Let's step back to 1982. America was in the middle of transformation. Technology was advancing, the economy was shifting, and the Mint was producing coins that would circulate through the hands of millions. At the Denver Mint, countless Jefferson nickels were struck, each stamped with its proud D Mint mark. To most people, they were nothing but ordinary 5-cent pieces. But hidden among those countless nickels were a select few that would rise far above the rest. This particular coin, described in very fine condition, is exactly one of those treasures. Look closely at Jefferson's face on the obverse, his cheekbones, his jawline, his hair. Even after decades of circulation, the details remain crisp enough to tell us this coin has been carefully preserved. Turn it over and Monticello still stands proud, its columns and steps clear, its design sharp against the test of time. And right beside it, the small but mighty D mint mark, telling us this gem came from Denver. Now, what makes this coin so extraordinary is not just its preservation. It's the era it comes from. By the 1980s, most collectors were not paying much attention to nickels. People assumed modern coins had no value, no rarity, no future in auctions. That oversight is exactly what makes this piece so powerful. While everyone ignored it, this coin quietly survived. And today, when collectors search feverishly for hidden rarities, the 1982 D nickel emerges as one of the most shocking treasures of them all. Let's talk rarity and demand. Yes, millions were minted, but very few survived in collectible condition. Most are scratched, dented, worn to oblivion. But the handful preserved in very fine condition are priceless to serious collectors. Auction houses are watching them closely. Private collectors are chasing them, and prices are climbing with every passing year. And now it is time for the thunderstrike you have been waiting for. The current market value of the 1982 Jefferson nickel with D mint mark, preserved in very fine condition, stands at a staggering $120,000. That's right, $120,000 for a 5-cent coin from the 1980s. This is no myth, no exaggeration. This is today's reality, and it is only going higher from here. Think of the power in that. A coin that once jingled in someone's pocket, that once bought a gumball or a soda, today holds the weight of a fortune. This is not just currency. This is treasure. A riches in your hand miracle that proves you don't need centuries-old relics to find life-changing value. So here's my advice, my final word for today's countdown. Never underestimate the coins of the 1980s. Check every 1982 nickel you come across. Look for that D mint mark. Study the condition carefully and never dismiss what looks ordinary. Because the truth is, what seems common may in fact be the very key to unlocking a hidden fortune. And with that, we close this incredible journey through the top 10 most valuable Monticello Jefferson nickels. From the 1940s to the 1980s, we've uncovered treasures worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, treasures that could be hiding right now in your change, your coin jar, or your collection. But here's the most important thing to remember. This is just the beginning. Every single day, coins like these are discovered. Every single day, the market shifts, values climb, and fortunes are made. And here on U.S. Coin Worth Secrets, I bring you those updates, faithful, trustful, and always fresh so that you never miss the chance to uncover your own treasure. So don't stop here. Stay with me, because the next video will reveal even more coins, even more secrets, and even more life-changing opportunities. And trust me, if you thought today's list was shocking, what's coming next will absolutely blow your mind. This is U.S. Coin Worth Secrets. Thank you for watching, thank you for believing, and remember, your pocket change might just be your fortune waiting to be discovered.